Hi guys, I'm so excited about this one. So I don't know how many cards there are in the deck, a lot, like 100. And since doing the archetypes of the day, I secretly wished the poet one would come out, because I'm only going to do a month's worth, like I've said before, and it did today. So number 22, number of unity, oneness. Let's point this out, okay? Came out on number 22, and I think that's significant because for me the poets are prophetic people, like they're truth tellers. Well, it says it in the book, like, and if you think about it, people of the book, people of God, people who believe in a higher source, that believe in a God, a higher source, a universe, whatever people want to call it, source, and they subscribe to the belief of oneness, of all beings and all things. They are the witnesses, okay? They are the witnesses. They are the truth tellers. They are the real creative people. And I'm so happy that this card actually came out. So happy that it came out. Because one of the, like, I don't know, I'll have to count them, or like maybe the book might tell me how many are in the deck. But yeah, like, anyway, the chances. 2, 2, 3. No, that's the page. 78. 78. Yeah, so 78. Anyway. Sorry, this has got me like way excited. The poet. Just calm down, Hannah. The poet. The artist, the witness, the truth teller. The poet's work is to feel immensely and not be afraid. Look at the picture, by the way. So I'm just going to be interrupting the prose. Look at the picture. It looks like hands holding a moon. And what is the moon? It's the emotions. It's the realm of the water. Okay, so the poet's work is to feel immensely and not be afraid. They must seek out truth in the darkest corner of the world. What is the moon? It's the light in the dark. Start again, because I've ruined it again. Please don't kill me. Okay, the poet's work is to feel immensely and not be afraid. They must seek out truth in the darkest corners of the world and carry it back for all to see. This unique capacity resides within us all, regardless of our relationship to creativity. When the poet energy is present, there is a call for deep honesty and reflection, for seeing the big picture within the little one. The poet resides effortlessly between the personal and universal. It's possible that others may not seem to listen or care about the poet's work, but do not be discouraged. The words of the poet ring true for centuries to come, soothing the wounds of despair and violence that captivate our world. The poet's work is never finished. Find your voice and trust that the wind will carry it. Okay, so maybe this, like, this is a message for someone specific, maybe, or people specific that are struggling to use their voice, and maybe this is why this has come up. It's likely there is a poem or poet that was meaningful to you at a young age. Revisit and reread it now. Be open to its message. The poet is related to the shaman and the bridge. These archetypes hover in the meeting place between the everyday and the sacred. When light, clairvoyant, wise, timeless. When dark, harmful words, sharp tongue, thwarted creativity. Go deeper, spend 1 hour reading poetry, then one more. So I like this. I feel like this is the true essence of what being a poet is. And for me, like, I felt out of place a lot in the poetry scene, like where I live, or just in the country where I'm from, or just in the so-called creative scene, because I feel like my poetry is prophetic. And when people ask me, I didn't really mean to talk about me, but I am obviously a poet, and I don't think I've shared this with people on my channel or anything before, so I'm going to do it now just because the moment's arisen. But for me, like, I've always been looked at strangely when people ask me, like, what my inspiration is or what I write about. And in essence, like, I write about God. I channel messages and write what I channel. And, like, I'm not really inspired by poets. And if I was to say, you know, who I'd be inspired by, it's not necessarily, if I am inspired by a poet that's alive today, it's not necessarily because of their work necessarily. It might be because of their grit and determination to not be moulded. Like John Cooper Clarke, for example. He's like very working class poet from like near where I'm from. And I just like that he's himself, and that he wanted to be a poet, and everyone thought he was mad, and he did it. Like, I just love that. But I'm not necessarily going to be writing about what he writes about, because he has a different view, and that's why he's here, because he has the lens that God gave him. And for me, my inspiration is like Rumi or Walt Whitman, you know, the dead ones. And like, also my inspiration is like Emily Dickinson, just because she wrote and wrote and wrote and no one knew until she died. And she had like hundreds and hundreds of poems. And she's not necessarily an inspiration as such. It's more like I just relate. I relate to that. I relate to the poet, to her as a poet, and she's like dead, like more than poets I might come into contact with that are alive and, you know, in my physical experience now. And then like Walt Whitman, I feel like I write like him. Like, I feel like my style is like I relate to that. And like, he used to date and stuff all his poems. He gets a lot of stick because people think he's racist and stuff. But all of his poems are about the universe. Like, they're universal. They're like, their essence is the soul. Like, it's from the soul. So that's why they're timeless pieces, because they're written from that point, that vantage point. But yeah, I think he was just using, please don't kill me. Don't come at me in the comments or anything. But yeah, I think he's like, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right. You should not use the N word, you know, like in, you know, but I think it was, the language was of the time. And if he was alive today, he probably would not use it. That's my opinion. Don't shoot me. But as a brown person who has experienced racism. That's my view. But I relate to his style of writing, which is really like unedited. And it's like, it's very, to me, it's very obviously channeled. Very obviously channeled. And then people like Guru Nanak, sorry, I'm just going to come across as a crazy person, but obviously like he's the father of Sikhism, but he went on his own soul journey and left everything he knew, and he was a poet, and he just went on a spiritual quest and did his own thing. And I relate to that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying that that's exclusively the list, but and obviously people don't know, I'm inspired by like Bridget of Kildare is like my hero. She's obviously not here. She's in some people's eyes like a mythical creature. Like, who knows if she was here? But yeah, she's known for being the goddess of poetry and as being a healer. So you know, a humanitarian, and I relate to that. She's not necessarily, you know. But I think there's something childlike about poets that needs to be preserved. As poets are people that, you know, like journalists, they'll tell the truth. They'll tell the truth. Like they're like, you know, like journalists are supposed to. Not that they do in these days in the media, but the journalists are supposed to be the eyes that tell the truth, and like, you know. But I think I see poets in a similar vein. But poets actually do. They're not supposed to be like the journalists of the world, but often they are. They are, without like the protection of an organisation and stuff like that. And some big media house corporation thing to protect them when they do tell the truth and get themselves into hot water. But just look at how beautiful this card is. Look, it's a light in the darkness, and the murmuration in the background. Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like a crystal ball. The moon's almost like a crystal ball. Like, it's almost like visionary. But yeah, like I don't know. Just gonna look up murmuration. What the see if there's any significance with murmurations and the moon. So just bear with me. Yeah, so murmurations are supposed to be a symbol of reassurance in a difficult time. So it's again like the light in the dark. So just be assured that everything is okay, even if it doesn't feel like it. Yeah, because there's a lot of like deception that surrounds the moon as well, because you can't always trust your feelings, and yeah. Yeah, but poets are timeless, definitely. The real ones anyway. Sorry, I have to say that. True poets, their work is timeless and it lives on and on and on. Because it's of the soul, it's from the heart. It's not rooted in duality. It's rooted in singularity. And on that note, I think I've kept you for long enough. This has been quite a long message comparatively to the other archetypes of the day, but I hope you appreciate it, and you humour me for sharing, you know, some of my bits about me as a poet as part of this sharing this one. And I'll see you when I'm not going to force it or anything. I'm not going to force going to this deck, because just for some reason that's what felt right to do. So I don't know if there'll be another one tomorrow or not. All I know is that there'll be a month's worth, and that's it. That's it. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Lots of love. Bye.